Welcome back, true believers and spectacular Spidey fans, to another infectious installment of Radioactive Replay, Part 4. And as you saw in the previous part, I was doing a lot of shoutouts and also a lot of mentions for other Spidey Squad members and kind of rambling about my favorite mission of the game and just Felicia Hardy being awesome. Now, I'm just going to also talk about more of the game itself and also discuss a little bit of our favorite Spider-Man PS4. So let's get into it, everybody. So, in the previous episode, we started off with just getting with Felicia Hardy. As I said before, Felicia Hardy is my favorite love interest of any Spider-Man character ever, even more than Cindy Moon, or Mary Jane, or Deborah Whitman, or even the little girl that Doc Ock loved when he was Superior Spider-Man, Anne-Marie, I think her name was. Wow. Yeah, that was a very, it was an odd moment in Spider-Man comics. But anyways, moving on, in this game we are about to go to the Daily Bugle and do one of the most iconic missions for our good old amazing Spidey Squad member, Xavier Godzilla Mendoza. Spider-Man, Web of Bomb Squad, Web of Shadows, of course. Cannot even mention how awesome he is. And yes, it's hilarious that almost every Spider-Man game features bombs. It is hilarious. Please, I'm not kidding. If you have not seen Godzilla Mendoza's retrospective on all the Spider-Man games, you are doing yourself a disservice. Please watch it right now. I'll put part 1 in the description so you can check it out. If you have not already, please, come on. You already should have. Now, I do love this game, and I love how awesomely dynamic all the missions are. And this game did come out in 2008, so it is acceptable. This is one of the first games to come out on the next-gen consoles for that time. What I mean by that is the PS3 and the Xbox 360. But it is kind of sucky that there is no continuous or seamless day-nighttime cycle like there is in GTA 5. Like, what I mean, for example, is that there is cycles between day and night, but I mean in that, like GTA 5, there is no loading, there is no any breaks where you have to choose which day or segment of the day or weather you want it to be, but it just transitioned from daytime to sunset to rain to snow to anything like that. So it is a bit sucky that there is nothing like that in Web of Shadows. It's just that there are different segments in the story that take place in certain days, and this whole game takes place in 3 weeks, I think, or 2 weeks, like he said in the beginning with Venom. It started 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I think it was. But this game is just awesome all around. I love every single bit of it, like I keep saying. I know I've said that more than once, but it's true. And I just love the web strike. I mean, you could just walk up to these guys and just simply do something as dumb as punching them, like that. Or you can web them, web strike, dodge, web again, jump off of him with a web strike, throw him to a wall, and have him stick there like the loser that he is, of course. And just let him sit there and let him think about his decision that got him there. Oh, but yes, I love also the transitions you can do from traversal to fighting. It's awesome. Like such. But yes, all of these moves I will use to the fullest potential. Like I have said before, I am a pro at Spider-Man games, especially Web of Shadows, and I will not let you down in terms of stylistic combat momentum or traversal, as well as hopefully witty dialogue. Now that move there is a very interesting move, the move where you can charge up the symbiote inside you and have it explode. It is a very cool move, but not a lot of people use it. I use it when there's the symbiotes around. And, of course, the aerial combat is where you can just throw tendrils at enemies with your hands, which is awesome. And also with the huge tendril combat combo that you can do on the ground. I will not use that until the symbiotes arrive, because that would just be unfair to these guys. And yes, the Bomb Squad, everybody. Wow. Holy shnikes. Incoming! And Spider-Man lands it with a 360 nerd no-scope slide. I think that's what it called it on the skateboard trick segment of things, but correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, I love how they, in the future of this mission, will bring out those giant robots. I love how easy it is to take them out. And also, fun fact, if you have, again, not seen Xavier Godzilla Mendoza's retrospective on the Spider-Man games, all they did, what Treyarch did, was just take the design of those robots and just implement it into this game from Spider-Man 3. They have the same exact design of the robots that they had in Spider-Man 3, and they just transitioned them over into this game. Either Activision just didn't want to give them all the proper resources, or they just said, we're kind of tired today, so we won't do anything. Now moving on to the main juicy news of today, is that, like I said, I will be talking mainly about how awesome this game is, but also Spider-Man PS4. If you have not seen my video and a lot of other Spidey Squad members' videos about the Ryan Penagos news, which isn't even news, it has been said, if you are not aware of this, Ryan Penagos was on the Marvel Flip Show, which is a nice little type of, not a podcast, but a little tiny talk show that they do on Marvel Entertainment's YouTube channel. And they do this about comics, the mobile games mainly, if they ever talk about video games, or the upcoming movies, or even cartoons. Now, all the way back in December of 2016, Ryan Penagos let slip that there's more on the horizon for Marvel games in 2017, such as Spider-Man coming to PlayStation 4, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on Xbox One, PC, PS4, all that jazz. So, everyone is now all of a sudden discovering this, and I'm not butthurt that I was not the one, or any of the other Spidey Squad members for that hand, were the ones credited for discovering this news, because we discovered this news all the way back when it was announced in December of 2016, and now these bigger channels like IGN, GameSpot, PlayStation World, they're now just discovering about this news, which is insane, and they're saying it's news. So, like, they're saying it was on a Facebook live stream the other day, meaning like a couple weeks ago or so, when it was a month, or 4 months ago, and that is just insane. But what I'm trying to say is, if you are not aware, I already did a video on this twice, so I'll put them in the description, so as well as the other members. Ryan Penagos is the executive editor and vice president at Marvel Digital Media. Not just some employee who's just saying nonsense, not some guy who's just, talking out of his butt. He is really important in terms of Marvel, and he has put up tweets recently, like a week ago or a few weeks ago, saying, as a rebuttal or a reply to this whole news, is that he quoted Insomniac's tweet that they say all the time when people ask, is it going to come out 2017, is it going to come out 2018? No release time frame has been announced. So Ryan Penagos retweeted that on his Twitter page to cover up for what he said. But let's talk about why he is telling the truth. Again, I already talked about this in previous videos, but again, Insomniac have been so quiet for Spider-Man PS4 all the way since September of 2016. Again, a lot of people think that we have not gotten news ever since June. People didn't even apparently see the PlayStation 4 Pro clip, and some people don't even count that. I understand, but that still does technically count for a advertisement for Spider-Man on the PS4, or you could say that was not really part of Insomniac's marketing. What that was to showcase the graphics for the PlayStation 4 Pro, because of how the PlayStation 4 Pro released in November and in September. Sony wanted to showcase how the graphics look for all these upcoming games, one of which was Horizon Zero Dawn and Final Fantasy 15 and all these other games. So that 30-second clip really technically wasn't part of the marketing for Spider-Man PS4, but more such as a showcase of the game in 4K to keep the fans excited, but again, just a way to show the power of the PS4 Pro. So technically, the last marketing thing that we got from Insomniac was back in June of 2016, but the PS4 Pro clip still technically counts on a marketing standpoint. And what I was saying before was that Insomniac has been so quiet. Ryan Penagos just all of a sudden decides to show this or share this information back in December of 2016, and now people are saying it's fake news, which is really irritating that people are actually saying that. It is stupid that people would think that that is fake news. There have been numerous tweets on numerous occasions of him saying that the footage that he was shown by Insomniac. Insomniac showed him more footage for Spider-Man PS4, and that it brought him joy, like it brought him tears of joy, and it was a very awesome segment to see. Whether or not that is part of a gameplay demo or anything, it is still unknown. But just know that he is not lying. He is telling the truth. There is more than enough evidence. Even Insomniac themselves, back in June of 2016, when they showed the trailer for Spider-Man PS4, they responded to a fan on Twitter who said, "Oh, I'll just wait until 2018 to get this game, to store my hype on the shelf." And then they replied, Insomniac replied, "Who said 2018? Who said 2 years? Just hold on, we will release a date when the time is right." And of course, the time of which being right, we thought, the Spidey Squad and I thought that it would be GDC, DICE, SXSW, but all those were a bust, except for DICE. DICE was actually a bit better than expected. We didn't get any footage, but we did get more information from Bill Roseman in terms of Spider-Man PS4, and it was very awesome for him to actually showcase more of the passion that goes into this game, the passion that the developers have for the character, and what justice they are going to serve to Spider-Man and all the characters in this universe. Again, Insomniac will not let us down, guys. They will not fail. A lot of people, again, really stupidly think that this is going to be as bad as The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and they think that they're taking the swinging from Beanox. They think that Insomniac is stealing the swinging from Beanox. Again, as I said in Part 3, none of this is being stolen. This is all 100% original. They are all doing this by themselves. They are all making the mechanics by scratch, originally, not using anything, of course, other than having webs stick to buildings. That's just a common sense aspect to put into the game. But in terms of, you know, sprinting or wall running while pressing and holding L2 and circle, or, you know, LT and B and stuff like that, we don't know if they're going to do that for the wall running, but just know that they are doing their best job possible to make this game. It will release in 2017, and Insomniac themselves have backed the statement all the way back in June that they will release the game this year. And the whole reason why they're saying that there's no time frame announced, there's no news that we can share at this time, you know, nothing we can say right now, is because people don't really realize that Sony are the main head honchos for this game. They are the ones publishing it, which is why it's an exclusive to PS4. They're the ones who are giving Insomniac all the resources possible to make this game as great as it can be, which, if you have played Horizon Zero Dawn, you will totally see where I'm coming from in this. I just got it recently. That game is amazing. Guerrilla Games put such passion into that game, and it shows. In terms of the graphics, size of the map, story, gameplay elements, everything. And that is why Insomniac and Spider-Man is going to get the same treatment. Again, Sunset Overdrive, one of their Xbox One exclusives, was planned to be a launch title for the Xbox One back in 2013, but then they couldn't get it to happen, so that way they released it in 2014, and then they had a bit of an issue with Microsoft and all that, so then that caused them to release it in fall of 2014. But it was still a fun game, even though it didn't sell well, which is kind of sad, but it was still really good. Spider-Man will be a million times better. But before I continue, I love this whole conversation that they're going to have.
So what is Kingpin up to that you're involved in?
Who knows?
Up to? Guns, drugs, anything else that can corrupt the world and make him a lot of money at the same time?
It's probably not anything that illegal.
And you just went after him.
Well, of course. She's a gold digger.
I was having one of my I wish I was a superhero days.
I wish that you were in every Spider-Man game days.
Which is better than
Which
one
is
of
actually
kind of
true. She is in a lot of Spider-Man games.
Glad you think so, because I usually end up feeling like a loser after I try the super stuff.
Kat, you're amazing. And I wish that you and Peter would get together, but you are still amazing.
You do okay.
I do?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, you're okay.
Uh-huh. Name one.
You know that time when you almost got date raped by the person in who was about to turn into Mysterio and he had mind control powers? That time that you saved my life.
So you win some, lose some, whatever.
Who knows?
Thanks for trying. I need a good word from you.
Anyone can cheer up your day if you're just Spider-Man, of course. And as I was saying earlier on, is that Insomniac will not let us down in regards to graphics, gameplay, story, all that jazz. And a bit of a spoiler thing from Horizon Zero Dawn, so, you know, turn me off, mute me, stop watching if you don't want to hear any spoilers from that game. But, as you know, that takes place in the far, far future, like a post-apocalyptic wasteland within that game. And it turns out it's an actual state. The game takes place in Denver, Colorado, which is crazy. It is awesome to see that that is the case, that they chose Denver, Colorado with all the Rocky Mountains, the canyons, all that, and they put that for Horizon Zero Dawn. And that map is huge. That map in that game is ginormous. So what I'm trying to say is, Colorado's pretty big. New York, as a city, is even bigger. And even the fact that Marvel Spider-Man PS4 was featured, showcased, highlighted in the PlayStation King ad, showcases just how important this game is to Sony and why they will not let us down. Same thing with Insomniac. They will not let us down. They will give us the proper treatment that this game deserves. And we will not be let down like Beanox did in the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Miss me?
Miss me, nerd. Michael Keaton, how dare you! I thought we were friends! Woo! You are not gonna fight me. It'd be really cool if Vulture had his own minions, but it's cool that Kingpin's minions are kind of his subsidiary goons. I love that cutscene right there with Spider-Man jumping up. I love the pose he does right there when he hits the ground. Oh, I know I just got hit there. Of course, diving and coming back up like a pro. Not a lot of people saw that. I did that on purpose. Or did I? You'll never know. But I love just how dynamic this whole boss battle is, especially both times, fighting Vulture normally and in the symbiote. It is amazing. Yahoo! Vulture, you are really doing bad at trying to fight me, okay? Woohoo! And yes, this was the coolest thing to ever see as a 10-year-old kid in 2008. Vulture actually being threatening. Not with feathered wings, not in a dumb jumpsuit or anything. Even though he is bald, he still looks freaking awesome in his costume. This is one of my favorite Vulture designs ever, which is why Spider-Man Homecoming is going to be amazing with Michael Keaton being Vulture with his mask. I love that Vulture has a mask in Spider-Man Homecoming. And the fact that this Vulture has wings that act as blades that just kind of come off of his suit is even cooler. I love how they use it as like blades to throw in shards, and also when this QuickTime event happens where you see Vulture kind of float a little bit by himself without his wings. It's just amazing. This whole boss fight when I was a kid was freaking awesome. I think I died, not a lot, but I just kept getting hit a lot by his goons with Vulture because I was still trying to learn the web strike when I was 10 years old. And I was very confused by how it was working. I could do it, but I was like, I didn't know how I could get up to Vulture without web swinging there, because I always just web swing. And then, being able to web strike on these enemies to get to Vulture is freaking awesome. It's such a dynamic way to get to him as a boss fight mechanic. And flying on him while skateboarding on him is even better, of course. You cannot beat an epic boss without skateboarding on him. I love that. I love how he has, like, talons on his feet, but the way that Michael Keaton's Vulture suit design, where it's a purple type of brown, dark brown, a little bit of purple in there if you can see it on his pants, smidgen of purple, but also the fact that it's way more dynamic and cool, where it's realistic and it's like a flight suit mixed with the feather jacket, and also just a lot of awesome decisions in terms of costume design. For his mask, it is just truly freaking awesome. And I love how this music is a little bit of nostalgia for the Spider-Man 3 mission where you're fighting Venom and Sandman. Even though not a lot of people like that game, I actually am very fond of that game. And the music in here is just freaking amazing. Did someone call for a Vulture upside-down kickflip mixed with an aerial fakie 320? If not, Spider-Man's the guy for you. I think Tony Hawk would be very impressed, or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, because, as we all know, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was obviously inspired by this Spider-Man skateboarding on humans, but then they just made Peter Parker skateboard in the game. Or in the movie. Favorite QuickTime event of all time, let's go! Running on Vulture's blades is freaking epic! That's so sick! Oh, and I love how he floats there. So he has a jetpack, but his wings are just added parts to his jetpack. They are just used as a offensive version for his combat in the air, fighting people like Spider-Man. Ruined! You're done, nerd. Now this one, I'm not sure. I've done the red suit path a lot, so let's keep going with black.
Okay, Buzzard Breath. Merry Christmas.
Wow.
Now you owe me one. Cross me again, I'll do more than take your wings.
Of course. You won't regret this, I
You
swear.
want a vasectomy, Vulture? Yeah, you're gonna get that next from me. Wait a minute, that might not be the best thing. Oh, but as you just heard right there, Michael Vaughn doing his dialogue as Spider-Man in the black suit sounds fine, which is very strange on why Shaba or Treyarch or whoever was in charge of the voice acting. I don't mind Michael Vaughn's voice like a lot of people do. A lot of people despise this game in general just for having this Spider-Man have this voice. But right there, in the black suit, his voice was totally fine. Even perfect, I'd think. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't make that voice the normal voice, and then they just went even more hardcore in the black suit. It's kind of strange why they decided to keep what they did. But again, I'm not upset with it. Wow, so Vulture just got pummeled to
Word is
bird
that
brains
Kingpin still has some of his
in that
secret
mission.
rooftop hideouts for little henchmen to work from.
Yeah, like, slave laborers? I don't hope so.
I know. My favorite
hope not.
geriatric flying supervillain told me.
Oh, you're talking about Green
It's
Goblin?
been quite a night.
Oh, right, Vulture. Never
Police are
mind.
swamped with assaults, unexplained medical emergencies, people
Whoa.
freaking out.
Yeah, well, they're
This is New
probably just taking a look at you.
True.
Or, yeah, it is New
This
York.
sounds like something more.
I'll keep an eye
Sounds
on
like
things
fans are
that's
trying to make sure that Spider-Man PS4 comes out this
I'm
year.
gonna keep an eye out for you.
Well,
You do that. In the meantime, I'm
All right.
gonna shut down the Kingpin's little show.
Have a good time.
oh, I know I will.
always do.
Thanks, Cat. Oh, man. Not only do I love Black Cat, I love her penthouse because you can look at her while Spider-Man looks at her and then just dive like a pro. Later, Cat! Woo! Oh, and people say the swinging sucks in this game. Yeah, you are, you're just not really equipped to fully swing as a pro within this game. But yes, all of this stuff in this game has a purpose. Even the shield on the webs has a purpose. Running up the walls, diving, jumping off with style on buildings, falling to your death, plummeting, or just landing normally. Apparently fall damage doesn't exist from that high of a building. Which is another thing, fall damage. Please, 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 Insomniac. We need fall damage in Spider-Man PS4. I know that that is probably going to be happening in that Spider-Man PS4. Because of how this is going to be a grounded game, Spider-Man is in his prime, this is going to be a more realistic take on Spider-Man. But even this one kind of was. Even though it's more comic book based, there is still quite a few things in here that relate to realism within this game. Except for fall damage, which as you can see, if you're on top of a certain building of a certain height, then you will not take fall damage. If you're on a skyscraper, then you will obviously take fall damage. But if you're like me, where you have gotten all the mini spider tokens around the city, Spider-Man is fully upgraded, and he has basically invincibility when he is going down and falling to his death. He does not take a lot of damage at all if he is trying to avoid getting hit by the ground and get plummeted. Woohoo! I love these awesome segments where you're fighting guys in the air, on the wall, transitioning back and forth, and then just going crazy with all of the enemies. Yuri Lowenthal, of course. I can get you, Yuri, to be in Spider-Man PS4. Oh wait, you already have that. Awesome. But yes, you fans, if you are not aware, which I don't know if you're not, which you should be, Yuri Lowenthal is the official voice for Spider-Man / Peter Parker in Spider-Man PS4. If you have not heard of Yuri Lowenthal before, or if you have heard of him, you just forget who he voices, Yuri Lowenthal has voiced Sasuke from Naruto, the English dub version, and he has mainly voiced Ben 10, the teenage version from Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, I think Ben 10 Omniverse, and also Spider-Man. He actually has voiced Spider-Man before in Spider-Man Unlimited, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 mobile game on iOS, and he has had cameos in other Spider-Man games, like Web of Shadows. And also recently, as I've discovered, he is featured in Horizon Zero Dawn as just a random soldier or a tribesman, which is really funny. and cool. And I love this scene. I freaked the hell out at this scene when I was a kid. Not only is this like the Purge mixed with the Exorcist mixed with like a little bit of Human Centipede. I hope not a lot of Human Centipede, but just a little smidgen of Human Centipede. And I love this scene. Kingpin's men fighting symbiotes. The birth of the mini symbiotes in this game is awesome to see how they come into the play. Yeah, and woo! Yeah, that guy is not going to get out of here alive. Woo! Air combat, I love you. Did anyone order a web knuckle sandwich? Or is that just to go? Anyways, it's on the house! Oh, great. I forgot that they are very much aware when you're about to strike. Which is another reason why I love this game, is that they don't just expect you to do the web strike everywhere. They make certain enemies available to hit you, pummel you, throw you, or counter you in certain ways. And sadly, there is no difficulty mode for this game. There is no easy, medium, or hard. It's just on a normal, average difficulty, which I don't mind, but I do wish that there was an option for hard or extreme or crushing like there is in Uncharted. I love playing games on hard, Batman Arkham Knight, all the Batman Arkham games in general. Even Spider-Man Web of Shadows does not have a easy, medium, difficult, or challenging difficulty, but the Amazing Spider-Man games actually do, which I don't mind that one bit. Which, thank you, Beanox, for actually doing that for the fans. Woohoo! Kamikaze! Or what I mean by that is Kamehameha for Spider-Man's webs. In you go. Later. And that concludes our demolishation of all these symbiotes. Okay, now the... Woo! So when you're playing the game, they look fine, but that cutscene right there... Wow. And yeah, that's gonna suck if that person lands on a car down the streets.
Away from those people now, mister.
They're gonna get our donuts, Spider-Man! You can't go and fight them as much as you want to, even though we recommend you doing that. Woo!
The whole world's gone nuts.
Great. Oh, man. Awesome. Now, as I said before, that there is actually a canon ending to this game. Certain choices are actually supposed to be made. But I want to do the bad Vulture choice just because that I've done the good choice a lot throughout my previous playthroughs, and not a lot of the bad Vulture choice. But as you saw right there, Spider-Man was moving his mouth while he finished talking, so really, you were supposed to choose the Vulture choice as the canon choice, as you saw. But, as I said, I've done that choice a lot, so I thought the bad choice would be kind of cool, but that does not mean that I will keep doing bad choices. Just stay tuned to see which choices that I will actually do in the future. Again, there will be a lot of twists and turns to this playthrough. You just have to make sure to stick with me here. I will not let you down in terms of what choices I choose. Just know that all you are amazing, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed Part 4 of Radioactive Replay, Spider-Man Web of Shadows. Hopefully this part can come out the same day as Part 3. If it doesn't, I apologize. But I just want to let you guys know that all of your support means the world to me. Each and every single one of you guys is spectacular in every single way possible. And without you, I would not even be here. So thank you so much for watching, True Believers. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans. Stay tuned for Part 5 coming out later. And also, if this comes out on April 10th, or if Part 5 comes out on April 10th, I got a very special message for all you guys. So just stay tuned for all that. Stay awesome, everybody. Peace out.